Covered wings. A-17, all metal, right? You know who Northrop is? They make the stealth bomber. Wow. Little dioramas they have featuring a classic error of a rookie pilot. Tailwind, put on the brakes, and do a nosedive, wipe out the propeller. Here's his boss yelling at him, or his instructor pilot. But it's not my fault. The planes that my dad, Pat Therian, learned how to fly in World War II. You know, Pat was a lieutenant colonel and a pilot in the Air Force. Some fun stuff. De Havilland Tiger Moth. Front engine V12. Looking kind of slick, huh? 1937-38. A little diorama. Here are the boys waiting for the attack. Trainer, want to learn how to fly? Close you up in this box and off you go. 1930s, 1940s technology. All electromechanical hydraulic. No electronics here. I told you they had the airframe technology, so they framed, or they scaled it up. B-18 Douglas. Basically limited by those two engines. Otherwise they'd have made it even bigger. P-40 Warhawk. This is the one that went to China with American Volunteer Group, also known as the Flying Tigers. Pretty cool mouth, huh? 25 Mitchell. This is the plane that they put on a one-way, almost suicide mission. They loaded these things up on an aircraft carrier and sent them over and bombed Tokyo and some other cities in Japan. It wasn't very effective in terms of bombing, but psychologically it did serious damage to the Japanese. Also caused them to redeploy a lot of fighter squadrons back to the mainland that we didn't have to fight. So it was quite an important chapter in World War II. The Doolittle raid, read about it. It's a great story. And a Bell P-39 Airacobra. They put the engine in the middle. You can see the pipes there. And then they mounted a giant cannon in the front. The idea was to make it handle better, but the engine didn't have enough power. It never really was very successful. So he gave it to the Russians. The biplane trainers that my dad trained in. AT-9, known as a Jeep. After you trained on a single engine and you showed your competence, they trained you on this twin engine and moved you up to bigger and faster airplanes. Famous British Spitfire. Battle of Britain. You hear about the B-17 and we have great respect for it, but the B-24 Liberator is the one that really did all the heavy lifting. Looks just like a P-51, but it's an A-36. The Brits asked North American to build them an airplane, and they did. And it was so successful that we went on and changed it and modified it into the P-51, but this is the original one, the A-36. Tremendous design. People still excited about it. Cadillac of the Air. Twin Fort Devil, P-38. Very cool airplane. C-3 Goonie Bird. I got a picture of my dad hanging out the window of one of these. He's got a lot of time in Goonie Birds, he told me. The transport of World War II. Douglas DC-3, famous B-17 bomber. There it is in all its glory. 4-engine, all aluminum. Pretty cool. If you want to blow things up, that is. Plane my dad flew, a P-47. They called it a Jug. Big, heavy-duty airplane. Best at air-to-ground. Your nose gunner in a B-17. You're protected by 3/8 of an inch of plexiglass. The German tactic was to come straight at these B-17s. This guy's life expectancy was nil. And it's one of its highest iterations, the D. See the little bubble canopy? They stripped her down. Awesome airplane. They re-engined it with a Rolls-Royce Merlin built by Packard in the United States, and that was one hot airplane. In fact, it still is. Our BF-109, commonly called an ME-109, a Messerschmitt. This was one of the German workhorses of World War II. I think it has either a BMW or Mercedes engine. Upside down. Put the engine upside down for weight distribution or location of the propeller. Another really cool workstation. You hang under the airplane in this thing. You open the little door, you climb in, lay on your back, and then the thing spins around and gimbals in every direction. And you got a .50 caliber machine gun, but you hang underneath the airplane.